All right, so this is a short tutorial on HBS on how to get these numbers for your cost of debt. So we're going to start by looking up your company. So my example company is going to be Apple. And then it'll take us to this page that I'm sure you're all familiar with. We're going to navigate over to debt and credit and then click debt structure. This will pull up something like this. Yours might look like this on default. If I make my screen bigger, flat out, it'll look like this. So what you want to do is change this bar chart to a pie chart, and that will show us where the majority of our debt is coming from. Basically, what this means is that it's sorted by maturity date. And so that represents whenever the debt will come to term, and that's when the company has to pay it back, right? So as you can see, the majority of our debt comes from after 2042. Let's go ahead and click that because we're going to use this kind of simplified way of calculating cost of debt. Typically, you'd go about going through each individual bond, each individual debt instrument, but I feel like that might take a long period of time. So I'm doing a weighted method to hopefully save you guys some time. All right, so starting with this, we can see over here, if I pull this out, okay. It doesn't give us a total sum because these are all like categorically a little different per year. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with 2043, this sum over here, and we're going to navigate over here. So what you want to do when you're taking this face value, we're looking for total amount outstanding because that's how much was initially issued for that portion of debt. So total amount issued, as you can see for this year 2043, up here, right here, is this sum. We want it in millions, right? So I input it already over here in millions, but that's basically what you do is just make sure this is all in the right units. It's going to be super, super important because it's going to go towards calculating your WACC, and that's going to be very sensitive when it comes to discounting your cash flows. All right, so after that, since we have the face value, we want to know the market value. So we're going to click this in order to see what it's actually trading at. So this is trading at 99.4 cents on the dollar. So it's at a slight discount. So anything that is beneath 100 is trading at a discount. Anything that's above 100% is trading at a premium. So this is trading at somewhat of a discount. So we're going to note that here by just putting 99.4 to match this thing right here, which is issue date price. If you can't find this, sometimes it's in this area, in this like reps valuation part, but typically it should be in the description area. So issue date, price, yield. We're looking right here at price, and then we can also see the yield right here. But if we were to look over here, the yield is actually what we're seeing right here. So we're going to go ahead and put that right here. I went and just put 5.2. All right, so that's how I would do, for example, the first one. And then navigating to the next one, I would just kind of, since we're doing almost like a weighted average of these, if you look over here at our WACC sheet, you can kind of see how that's going to play out. Yeah, since we're doing a weighted yield to maturity, we want to kind of take our largest portions of debt. So looking over here, I see, okay, this like 6 number is going to be a significant one. And so I put that one down here. Basically, you want to click out of your last one so we don't get as confused. So this is actually 2 different notes or 2 different bonds. And we're just going to take the total amount issued and go ahead and convert that to millions, put it over here. And then clicking into one of these, either one of these, we can quickly see, okay, this is around 99.4 cents on the dollar. And then this is around, probably around the same, 99.7. So you could take an average of those two or something around there. I just did 99.4, but that's just because I'm not actually like trying to do like a significant valuation. I'm just kind of putting numbers that are somewhat realistic on paper to give you guys an example. So you might want to take an average of those two if you're wanting to be a bit more precise. Then you have the yields here, so you'll probably take an average of these 2 yields. I just kind of input 5.2 for the purpose of demonstration. So we're going to kind of keep going along with that. As you can see over here, we have a pretty significant amount outstanding outside of that. So to kind of put that into contextualization, as you can see, these are some of the sums that we're seeing around here, like around 1 billion or so. And over here, we have a bit more of a significant sum of around 7 billion. So I might want to input that 7 billion and go ahead and do the same thing. So click through some of these and see kind of what they're trading at. So 99.5, it's pretty close to par. Yeah, 99.3. Maybe I'll take an average of some of these if you want to be more precise, or kind of look through them, get a good idea. Obviously, this is not the best idea if you're trying to be super precise, but if you're trying to save a little bit of time, it's kind of up to how you distinguish between the two. But go ahead and kind of input the what it's trading at in terms of cents on the dollar, and then you're going to input the yield as well, which is going to be over here. So as you can see, pretty much all of these are around 4.3. So I kind of just input 4.3. This isn't the one we're looking at. I think, yeah, over here, 4.3. You can take an average. You could take your time doing that if you'd like. That's really up to you. But ultimately, it will lead us to calculating this kind of weighted yield to maturity per each of these notes or sums of notes. And that will bring us towards this weighted average yield to maturity, which will actually be our cost of debt. Yeah, so that's how you would go about getting those inputs. Let me think about if there's anything else that's notable. If you don't see this up here, it might be in reps valuation, or you could also do, let me see where it was. Okay. Sometimes they have total amount outstanding per the individual bond. I have to kind of click through and look for some more of that. Yeah, it would typically be like around here. But like in more bond information. But since this one has it right here and its total amount outstanding is over here, that's kind of what we're going by for our purposes. All right. Best of luck, you guys.